Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jasmine and I will be attending Stanford University in the fall, this fall of 2018, and I make videos about college, the college application, my personal application story, so definitely hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and follow me on Instagram to keep up with my life before I go to Stanford, and let's get into today's video. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about Stanford Supplements. Now for Stanford and for the majority of top schools and even some like just lower grade schools that are probably like middle tier schools have supplemental essays that you have to write in addition to your Common App essays. So Stanford has 3 writing supplements that you have to complete in addition to the Common App essay that are 250 words, and then they have one that's 150 words and then 7 that are 50 words. But the main ones are those main 3. So today we're going to be talking about the first one, which was previously the Intellectual Vitality Supplement, if you have been researching it before that. I'm going to be talking a little bit about why I chose the topic I did, as well as giving you guys some advice as you go into writing your Stanford supplements, or maybe just going into writing supplements for other schools. I think these tips can really help you. So I have my laptop right here, and I'm just going to read the prompt and then read the supplement that I wrote. So the prompt is, the Stanford community is deeply curious and driven to learn in and out of the classroom. Reflect on an idea or experience that makes you genuinely excited about learning. And this is 100 to 250 words, and I think the majority of people will probably go closer to the 250 word side because that's already really concise. You have to really pack it in there. My supplement personally was only 2 paragraphs, so I would definitely suggest to try and maximize that since the limit is pretty tight. So I'm just going to start reading my essay. So I had the opportunity to conduct research at a university neuroscience lab working on a project to increase viral infection rates in zebra finches. Through this experience, I gained an appreciation for a different learning process. Previously, my foremost way of learning was to acquire knowledge, grasp it, and master it. My neuroscience research helped me embrace and become excited about a different learning process involving trial and error, discovery, and a holistic understanding of results that were not black or white. Working in a neuroscience lab with PhDs and scholars was also extremely humbling. For the first time, I had to work towards high expectation and goals from a position of inferiority, where I had no background, lab skills, or confidence relative to others. Even as a meticulous person, the preciseness required in lab work was unexpected. I was not used to doing things repeatedly 2, 3, or 10 times. I took every mistake to heart, and the road to completion seemed endless. I began to place less value on perfectly completed experiments and instead allowed myself to see the value in failures. It became apparent that failed results were a form of progress, and I became excited about learning through my own discovery, not just by being told the right answer. Ultimately, I obtained critical data for the lab. I realized that accomplishing this goal was a fraction of my overall gain from the experience. This newfound love for discovery was far more stimulating than simply completing the task. So that was my first Stanford supplement, and kind of going into it, if you wanna know a little bit more about how I got my internship, you can check out my What Will Impress Stanford video where I talk a little bit about my high school activities. So I had this cool internship that I did, and I could have kind of just talked more about the actual research that I did, which I didn't really touch on that much in my supplement, but I think the mistakes that a lot of students make is that you don't want your supplements or your essays to be just a list of your accomplishments or to make it seem like you're bragging in any way. The principal investigator in my lab I knew was writing me a recommendation, and I knew that he would touch more on the concrete research that I did. Instead, in my supplement, I wanted to talk about how the experience in the lab, it was super difficult for me. Like, it was really hard. I was just in there with a bunch of people who had studied neuroscience for a long time, and I had really no background or prior experience in it, and I kind of talked about how I overcame that and was still able to just be thrown in there and do something cool. I was used to just learning in school. The teacher was talking and then I would listen to the information and then spit it back out on a test, but that's not really exactly how it's going to be in college, and especially not in a future job you're going to have. And I kind of wanted to show Stanford that I had kind of obtained this new form of learning that I would hopefully carry into college and into a future job, which I think is a lot more valuable to them. A lot of times top students are going to go into these hard schools having just been a perfect student and been super successful, and that might be a red flag to some of these schools, thinking that, oh my gosh, the student's going to go in never really having experienced failure, and these kind of schools are going to be super difficult and challenging and competitive, and they're gonna have to go into jobs that are difficult, and you're just gonna have to be able to throw yourself in there and take the knowledge you have and just be able to apply it, even if you're not gonna know how to do something perfectly the first time. And I think that really showed through in my essay. So when you're thinking about kind of what you want to write in your supplements, I suggest taking things that you have done in your life and just try and put a unique spin on it. You know, a lot of people do research who are applying to Stanford and other top schools, but I kind of tried to take my unique personal experience and really highlight that in the essay. You know, it's talking about learning in and out of the classroom, so again, it doesn't have to be something so academic. I would suggest maybe not writing about school or a class you were in. If you are and you had a really unique experience in that, then that's super cool, but I think the majority of students are probably going to choose something that's either out of the classroom, and it doesn't even have to be something so academic necessarily if you feel that you've highlighted that in other parts of your application. So I hope that that helped you guys a little bit, kind of talking about the Stanford supplement, the first one, and I'll be going through the other two as well. The second one, which is the roommate essay, and then the third one, which is something that's meaningful to you, so definitely stay tuned for those, and I will see you guys on Friday.